of key term webinars, or anytime I'm going over content, we have a whole playlist of those. So there's plenty of information for you right at YouTube, and need you to subscribe to that channel so you can get all of the information. I think it'd be very beneficial for you. Well, let's get right into the course content today. And we're going to talk about antitrust, okay? A little bit about antitrust. I can almost guarantee you that you will see some questions on the exam regarding antitrust. So what is the Sherman Antitrust Act all about? And it's really about you and I, or as business owners, not price fixing or setting commission rates, or you're not supposed to set gas prices or airline tickets, and so that's against the law. It's kind of funny. I do a lot of traveling as a speaker and a trainer, and so I'm travel all over the world. I've been very blessed to do that, but it's kind of ironic to me that I can go to several different airlines and it seems like the prices are always very comparable or similar. And I kind of question and wonder, how does that happen? But it's not supposed to, according to the Sherman Antitrust Act. So as real estate brokers, we cannot fix commission rates. In fact, one of the things you have to understand and learn is that anytime, and I want to underline the word anytime, people begin to discuss commission rates or what you charge as brokerages, you should get up and dismiss yourself from the room and leave, because you could be found guilty of participating in a price fixing scenario. So let's talk about this for a moment. It's interesting. I actually covered price fixing and antitrust in one of my sales meetings, and I never will forget this. I told my agents, I said, how do you handle the situation if someone calls your office and they ask you, what does your company charge for commission? And you give them the rate that your broker has set in your company policy. Now, normally, or sometimes, the next follow-up question from the phone caller or the consumer is, well, is that about the norm or the average commission rate most brokerages charge? And what should you answer in that situation? Well, you should answer, I have no idea what anyone else charges. I only know what our firm, our company charges. Now, if you were to say, oh yes, that's the norm, or that's the average, or that's about what most people charge, you're guilty of price fixing. You could be found guilty of price fixing, and you don't want to say that. So I just covered a sales meeting for my agents. I gave them that verbiage. I told them what to say and what not to say. And I kid you not, was probably within just a few minutes after the sales meeting, a phone call comes in, and one of my agents, I hear her pick up the phone, and I hear her say the rate that our office charges, and then I heard her say, yes, that's what everyone charges. And I could have cringed, because I thought, why would you say that? We just covered that in a sales meeting. You were not to say that ever. So let's recap. Somebody asks you, what do you charge for commission? You have a company policy, and your broker has set out the commission rates that your office charges and why your office charges those rates. But you have no idea what anyone else charges. And even if you do, you can't say that. You just have to say, I have no idea what anyone else charges. I only know what our company charges. You may see some questions like that on the examination, and you need to understand that as brokers and as sales associates, we cannot fix commission rates, okay? Now, you'll see here that the second part, and I'm just going to kind of see if we can highlight that or draw that out there. It also prohibits, and I'm going to draw that out for you there, allocating markets and customers. Those might be the type of questions you see on the examination. What do we mean by allocating markets or customers? Okay, I live in a rural area. My hometown is Farmington, Missouri. Near Farmington is Park Hills, and then we have another community called Deloge. We also have Bonne Terre and Tir de Lac. I'm kind of giving you the ones in a close region here. Now, Tir de Lac's a lake and resort area, and allocating markets might be where John up in Tir de Lac says to me, hey, John Mayfield in Farmington, you take everything down in Farmington and don't come up here to Tir de Lac, and I won't come down to Farmington. I'll leave you alone. That's when two brokers are allocating markets. I'll work this market and you work that market. So you can't do that. That is, again, part of the antitrust. You cannot also allocate customers. I'll take everybody who's looking for a home under $100,000, and John, I'll give you everybody who's looking for a home over $100,000. Again, that's a violation of antitrust. You want to stay away from that. Now, the question I've seen or heard about, I like to say I've seen, but I really can't say I've seen. Occasionally we get to look at the examination, but the question you might be asked is the question right here, and I'm going to put a couple of asterisks there, which, and let me bring that down because I can see right now that's under the photo of mine, but prohibiting brokers to become members of a multiple listing agency. That too is against Sherman antitrust. Why would that be a part of antitrust? Well, let's face it, most sellers want their homes to go in the MLS. And the MLS then feeds data to Zillow, Realtor.com, and other big internet portals. If we as brokers would not allow people to come into the MLS, in other words, we would prohibit them from becoming members in our MLS, it would be very challenging and difficult for them to be able to survive as a brokerage because their listings could not get in the MLS. They would not be able to get to Zillow perhaps or Realtor.com, and therefore sellers may say, I don't want to list with your company because you are not a member of the MLS. So for antitrust, just to recap, I want you to remember you cannot discriminate through the MLS. You can't prohibit members from joining the MLS. That could be part of Sherman antitrust. You can't price fix. We're in an era of so many different pricing models today, and there are so many new business models coming out, and big companies like Zillow and others who are starting new business models, and all of these business models are very legal, and there's nothing wrong with them. And they're going to challenge a lot of people to say, wait a minute, that's not fair. They shouldn't be able to charge such a low commission rate. Well, guess what? Commissions are negotiable. Commissions are always negotiable. You're going to have to prove why your company charges its fee and the value that you're going to provide and the services you will provide. But at the end of the day, you have to always remember commissions are negotiable. Good. Cannot price fix, can't set commission rates, don't talk about them. You have no idea what anyone else charges. You only know what your company charges. And you can't allocate markets, and customers. So keep all of those in mind. Can't keep people out of the MLS, can't price fix on commission rates. You have no idea what anyone else charges. You can't allocate customers and market areas. And always remember, commissions are negotiable. Well, I hope you enjoyed this antitrust little real estate webinar, keyword webinar. And trust me, you will probably see a question right from this information, but you've got all of the information you know now to answer those questions correctly. Hey, thanks for joining us here at Global Real Estate School. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 100,000 YouTube followers, and I know we can get there. Tell some friends of yours in your real estate school. We have some great resources here. And also, like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram. Just go search Global Real Estate School, and be sure to go over to our website, globalrealestateschool.com. We have some great resources that will help you pass that real estate exam on the first attempt. It does not matter what state you're in. All of our information is national content, and we're offering the course. It's available in many states, so go over to globalrealestateschool.com. Check us out there. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.